In every fairy tale there are villains, and there are also fairies with a magic wand like Wyatt Kelce. Oh yes! This little fairy is a huge Travis X Taylor fan and a die-hard Swiftie like us, rooting for a fairy tale end. Recently, she even talked her dad, Jason Kelce, into joining Aunt Taylor in Paris. And from the looks of things, our little loyal Swiftie seems to have had her way.
It's all about the win, but this fight for your right to fight! We're going to Las Vegas, Nevada!
Imagine Wyatt, all full of charm and mischief, pulling at her dad's jersey, painting this vivid picture of her and Taylor gallivanting around Paris. Her excitement was so infectious that soon, she set the internet ablaze with laughter and anticipation as a result of this request that was completely unexpected, especially from toddler. Social media went crazy with memes, showing Jason's bewildered face as he thought about this whimsical journey his daughter had dreamed up. It's just one of those stories that makes you chuckle and shake your head in amusement. Travis has already flown over to join Taylor in Paris. They didn't leave together, but we don't actually need a soothsayer to know that Travis would tag along for every tour as long as he can. Or, at the very least, until June, when he'll need to head over to the NFL training camp to prepare for the next season. Wyatt isn't the only fairy with big dreams. There's also Spencer Pratt, former reality TV star, who even believes that Taylor and Travis will be getting engaged this month. When asked if Pratt thinks Travis and Taylor stand a chance at marriage, he responded saying, 100%. I think she's gonna have fam, baby. I've got into multiple arguments with people that they're like, this is all for show, and I'm like, no, it's not. That's a pretty precise and very specific prediction. One would almost think he's the blacksmith who sold Kelce a ring. But he isn't. The Eras Tour will touch down in Paris La Défense Arena on May 9, 10, 11, and 12. Ever since the Swift Kelce train hit the rails, it hasn't bothered its brakes, and we haven't had a break either. It's been a hell of a ride, and we're totally loving every single bit of the drama. However, recently, some things have happened and they seem a tad bit odd. Remember how these lovebirds have not just stood but also traveled between the heavens and the earth for each other? Going the extra mile, quite literally, just to make things work. You can't actually keep up with this Hollywood power couple without a flight tracker. Well, that is what makes the most recent events a bit unusual. In a very surprising twist of events, Travis Kelce was spotted at two major social events without his significant other. Which is worrisome because we are all used to seeing them together. He was spotted in Louisville, Kentucky, at the Kentucky Derby last week. On Saturday, the New Heights star, who is in his off-season at the moment, was found 1,000 miles away in Miami Gardens, watching the tracks at the Miami Grand Prix. Might we add that the lover boy was looking instead of dashing? It was no surprise that the tides went in his favor, and his team already won the bet. But the party didn't end there. The next day, our favorite NFL star, who also happens to be a co-owner of one of the racing teams, was hobnobbing at Carbone Beach. According to sources, he was at the $3,000 per head beach for a pop-up dinner. Alone. Anti-fans are arguing that this is unusual because this same Travis traveled all the way to Sydney and even Singapore right after a grand Super Bowl victory just to show up for Taylor. And then he also bought an iconic mansion just so they can be together. But then, don't get too flustered, honey. Those reasons don't hold water. The reason why he appeared alone is because Taylor was busy with her tour preps. Contrary to all the frightening lies that haters were trying to spill, we found out that Taylor was inexcusably absent. And her excuse was pretty solid. Our baby girl was prepping to wow us all in the European leg of the infamous Eras Tour starting in the city of love, Paris. Taylor and Travis even gave the Met Gala a miss this year. Yup. Same reason being, Taylor was still preparing for the European leg of the infamous Eras Tour. But hey, to be fair, Taylor is a human being like you and I, so we understand that she needs to work extra hard and still try to get as much rest as possible. Obviously, we know she would have given anything to show up. This is probably even the first time she's missing the Met Gala. Taylor flew across the globe from a concert right in the heat of the Eras Tour in Tokyo down to Las Vegas just to cheer her man at the Super Bowl. And if you check the dates, you'd notice that the gala happened 3 days before the Eras Tour was to resume in Paris. So, technically speaking, if we're being plain honest, attending the gala might not have been convenient, but it was very doable. But, let's face it, Taylor's really busy right now. If they had actually turned up that night, the entire night would have been about them. At least, that tells from how Coachella went. Oh, yes, let's talk about Coachella. Oh my god, would you look at that dress? Taylor looks drop-dead gorgeous. You know the jittery feeling you feel while reading a romance novel or watching a very good chick flick with a picture-perfect male protagonist? That's the exact way we all felt watching Travis and Taylor at Coachella. Like, looked so gooey cute. The effortless but enviable PDA, the way he held her, the eye contact across the room, the shoulder kisses, and the cute gestures just brought butterflies to our bellies. Y'all haters beefing and saying they are fighting, what do you have to say to this? Clearly, they are having the time of their lives together. The keyword here is together. Travis is just perfect. What else could a girl wish for? And this was supposed to just be a fundraising event. Now multiply that novel-worthy sweetness by 10. That's exactly what we might have had at the Met Gala. But, oh, well, there's always a next year. Let's take a minute to bask in Taylor's astounding beauty in that olive dress. This fairy tale romance has most of us swooning. Most. Not all. We still have anti-fans, lots of them. One of them is Hannah Kramer. Yes, you heard that right. The country singer said some really dark thing about Travis Kelce. On the scale of toxic to run for your dear life, she thinks that Kelce's terrible for Taylor. Why? According to her, Kelce is always drunk. She didn't say half of the time. She said, always. Although, we still don't know how that is any of her business, her emphasis on always is just outright extreme. She was probably exaggerating. In a recent episode of her Wind Down podcast, the One Tree Hill alum even went as far as saying that he's bad company for Taylor cause she observed that Taylor started drinking more since they started their Romeo-Juliet journey. Jana Kramer actually really just thinks that Travis Kelce is trouble in the flesh. What's even worse was Kramer, after calling Kelce cheesy, corny, and even loving the attention, went as far as criticizing Kelce's aggression as a player, like when he yelled at his coach, Andy Reid, in the heat of the Super Bowl in February.
He's always drunk. Every time I've ever seen a video, he's just always drunk, and I'm like, I hope that she doesn't go on that.
But then, we genuinely don't really care what the Catching Kelce alum had to say, do you? Newsflash, she's not even in the relationship, so her opinion doesn't really count. The love story singer's love story is one for the books, and we're here to swoon chapter after chapter with our fingers crossed at every cliffhanger. What do you think is the next step for Travis and Taylor? Do you think Wyatt will be spotted with her parents in Paris? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you don't want to miss out on the hottest celebrity news, make sure to subscribe to our channel.